Hi, this is Tracy Z with NoteInvestor.com and NoteInvestingTools.com. And I've been using seller financing for over 30 years now. And there's something that comes up a lot, and I just want to spend a little bit of time today talking about it. A lot of people think that owner financing or seller financing is just for deadbeats, and that's not true. And so I just thought I would take some time to explain away that myth if I could, or open people's minds to a different side of seller financing or owner financing. So when you hear owner financing, it means that the seller sells the property to the buyer and allows them to make payments to them over time instead of getting a bank loan. And so if you look for a definition of owner financing, yes, it is an alternative to bank financing when a buyer or a borrower doesn't qualify for traditional financing or the property doesn't qualify for traditional financing. But that definition sort of leaves out the human side. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the many faces of owner financing or of an owner financed buyer. So let's just talk about some real life examples of people who have bought properties using owner financing. So I've got 5 little scenarios here. And one is the single mom. She's working hard. She puts $1,500 down, uses owner financing to buy a property, puts some sweat equity in it, stays in it for 2 years, then sells the property and makes $30,000 and uses it to move to a better neighborhood with better school districts for her daughter. Definitely not a deadbeat, not down and out, somebody trying to get ahead. Number 2, the self-employed couple who has 20% down, they've got good credit, and they want to buy a lake place, a second home. But because they've been operating their business for only a year and banks require 2 years of tax returns, they're not able to get traditional financing. So they buy the property with owner financing, they help the seller of the property move the note to an investor at closing, and create a win-win situation for everyone. Third, the real estate investor who's buying a property, a fourplex that needs a little TLC. It needs to be fixed up, and until it's fixed up, it doesn't qualify for traditional bank financing. Number 4, a minority family that only believes in paying cash, and so they haven't established any kind of credit report, yet they pay their rent and their utilities on time. You can show that, but because they have no credit score, a bank won't underwrite them. So they buy using owner financing and supply a very nice home and place to live for their family. Number 5, a retired couple that doesn't want to pay rent. They want to own their own home. They live on Social Security, and so they need affordable housing. They found a 1974 mobile home on a piece of land, but because of the age of the mobile home, the banks won't lend on it. But they've got good credit, and they've got reliable income, and they're able to buy that property with seller financing. So there's just 5 faces of seller financing. None of them were down and out. None of them were deadbeats. In fact, believe it or not, 3 of those 5 examples, the first 3, were me at one point in my life. And I can say that now I'm fortunate enough to buy notes, so I'm on the receiving side of the payments, but there's been many times in my life where I've used it to purchase the property. So what I try to remember when I'm looking at a deal is there's always a story there. And so we're looking at alternative forms of financing, but we can't lose sight of that human element. And that's really what makes these alternatives to bank loans types of financing work. And so whenever I'm also working with borrowers or payers that are needing to have some kind of repayment plan, I try to remember that human element as well. And it works great on the investment side because if you're working with sellers of notes or you're helping people create notes, if you remember that human side of it, the many faces of it, you'll really see how owner financing is a great alternative to bank financing. And it doesn't work in every situation, but there's so many situations where it does, and it really provides that Main Street solution, providing homes to people that may not otherwise be able to qualify to purchase them. And really, isn't that what we all want, is a secure place, a home that we can live in and provide for our family. So until next time, thanks for joining me. This is Tracy, and I look forward to talking to you again.